everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of T Watches a Scary Movie. And don't adjust your dials, folks. Yes, it is me. I am back here on camera. Hair's just a little bit shorter, looking a little lighter, obviously, but always dashing and debonair. Yes, the Shaman of Cinema, Theron Reynolds here with you, ladies and gentlemen, to talk some scary movies. Happy to be back on camera with you. I want to remind you of all the places that you can check us out. For starters, we do a video on this episode. Not only is it me, but what I'm going to be showing you this episode, you also have to have video for it as well too. Or you're going to want to have video for it. And so the best way to get that is by subscribing to the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, that is youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Go get subscribed to the YouTube page, y'all. If you do that, you'll be able to catch all of our episodes every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I should say, by the way, there now. And any of the ones that have video, like this episode, this will actually allow you to watch that video there. Of course, we are also on Podbean as well, too. So if you are listening to the audio-only version of this, I also appreciate you as well, too. Of course, I'm trying to get on iTunes right now. It is hard getting it all figured out there, but we're going to get it, though. But if you're subscribed to the Podbean, thank you so much for listening to the audio version. And of course, a few other things you got to know about as well, too. Go to our Facebook page. Get subscribed to the Facebook group. That is facebook.com/group/T Scary Movie. Again, that's facebook.com/group/T Scary Movie. If you go and get subscribed there, you'll be able to join all of our watch parties. Y'all know we are watching so many scary movies right now. We're making great progress here. But in order for you to join those, because we're doing a lot, you got to go get the link from the Facebook group. And that leads us to the last thing I want to push for y'all as well, too. We have started a Discord channel, just because, we do our watch parties through Cosme. For the most part, Cosme can be all right, but like yesterday, Cosme was absolute hell with our shitty movie watch party. Thank you, Mr. Eric Brady. So we are trying to get used to using Discord to see if that's going to work a little bit better. So subscribe to our Discord channel. That is discord.gg/HB6KXXTEG. Again, that is discord.gg/HB6KXTEG. Yes, join our Discord channel. We're going to start doing some watch parties there, make it a little bit easier for folks to chat and everything like that as well, too. Get signed up. We want to see you out there. So, what do we have going on? Well, for starters, we should know in our scary our scary movie marathon that we have going on, we're up to 48. We are up to 48 movies. Folks, it is only the 15th of September, and we are 48 movies in. We're making great fucking progress here now. I'm so amped. 48 was Malignant. I put a nice little written review on the Facebook group. You got to go there to see what I wrote. But we're watching that tonight. We got a lot of new stuff, actually, coming up tonight in the watch party here. I promise we get some new stuff in. So tonight it is Blood Red Sky. That's the Netflix vampire film. Malignant. HBO Max there. James Wan. Horror, great. Don't Breathe 2. Escape Room Tournament of Champions. And actually, the focus of our episode tonight, we are going to watch The Stairs as well, too. If you remember, last month, I went and saw an early screening of The Stairs and got a chance to talk with the editor of the film, Michael Tang. Yeah, I got a chance to talk with Michael Tang, the editor of the film, along with Joshua Massaro of Baja High Horror Film Festival. And if you didn't catch the live viewing of that conversation, that is what is coming up in the episode tonight. Yeah, so we obviously have our watch party going on, but y'all, for those of y'all that weren't able to tune in for our live conversation with Michael Tang, the editor of The Stairs, that is what's coming up for you in tonight's episode. So, not going to waste any more time here, folks. Check this out. Take a look at me, a little bit heavier, a little bit more hair there. Enjoy.
My name is Theron Reynolds. I am T of T Watches a Scary Movie. Joining me today, my co-host of Mile High Horror Film Festival, Mr. Joshua Massaro. Josh, how you doing today, man?
Great, man. How you doing? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I feel like it's been way too long, even without the pandemic now, since we've gotten to see each other in person. So
Been a long time.
yeah, nice to see your face. Appreciate you putting this together for us now, man. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And joining us, our guest, the editor of The Stairs, the film that we are watching today, Mr. Michael Tang. Michael, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Josh had reached out to me and told me that this film was coming out, and I had saw the trailer and I had been interested in it. I was like, cool, we're getting some new horror, because the one thing that's been consistent, I feel, in the last like couple of years with everything going on in our world has been consistent horror. We've gotten a lot of really good horror in the last 2 years. So Josh told me that a friend of his had a project coming out, and I had already been interested in taking a look at it, and we got a chance to see it. So I really appreciate you joining us to talk a little bit about it today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I gotta ask, and it's a dumb question, but because the question is gonna come up here, and we gotta like spell it out for some people. So you were the editor of this film. Can you explain, easiest way you can, what an editor on a film actually does?
So an editor on this film is pretty much like putting a puzzle together. It's like they shoot it, they hand off me. Sometimes it pretty much at the end it rewrites the script. It's just like putting a puzzle together. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you gotta like delete some scenes and like trim it, and it's like, yep, it's definitely long hours. Like I was there for like, they were shooting for 19 days. I believe it's like 100, like over 100 hours of footage, but they shot for 19 days. But I ended up like working for like on the film for like 2.5 months, 3 months.
And over 100 hours, you say? I mean, is that, from what you know about like the filmmaking process and everything there, is that pretty normal? Is that like a low amount of film to be shot? Is that a high amount? Like, where's that kind of sitting, and what when it comes to like making movies now?
I mean, like, yeah, over 100 hours, like it's the average, but we're working on like mostly indie movies. So some bigger sets they shoot for like 30 days, so that goes over 1,000 hours. So just by myself, I'm just like the only guy editing, so I don't have any assistants like help me like look through the footage. So yeah, so it's like normally on these small movies like over couple of 100 hours, but yeah.
Wow. And I'm so curious about it, because I assume, and you'd have to correct me on that there, like I assume that is it like a collaborative effort with like your director, with your producer or producers, like going through and deciding like what goes in, what goes out? Like, do they just give you a list of here's like what we need for it? Like, what do you look for versus like how much input the rest of the behind the scenes staff has on the actual finished product?
I mean, like, it depends on what projects you work on with what kind of group. Sometimes if you work on a new project with a different director, they're like, okay, here's a script, we'll just edit how it's written. But there's some directors like, okay, we shot this and let you interpret it, because you're kind of like the outside perspective.
Yeah.
And then, on this particular set, so I started from the beginning before they shoot. So I was on set while they were filming, so I, grabbed the cars when they're copying the footage, backing it up. And there's like cases where like during days or like came to me like, oh my God, like, so can we go back to that day 4? Because we want to make sure it matches this shot we're shooting, or like make sure continuity is like correct, And then like, yes, definitely a collaborative effort. Even in editing, even like, the producers, the writers, and the directors there, after I do my first cut, they watch it. You're like, okay, maybe can we look at different performance like that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. But yeah, it's just like it's definitely collaborative, because like for me, watching it again and again, it just getting like dull, and like you need like an outside more people to watch it and giving critique and like giving notes and stuff.
Yeah. Now, for those who haven't seen the trailer or haven't had a chance to see the film yet, The Stairs tell the story of a young boy and his grandfather who go on a hunting trip in the woods, and they turn up missing. And 20 years later, a group of friends go out to the same woods on their own little trip, and they encounter just a lone set of stairs in the middle of nowhere. Now, looking at some of the behind the scenes content that came out for the promotion of the film and everything, the director and writer Drago talked a lot about how most of the hook of this story and most of what brought this to his attention was a lot of the stories that have gone around over decades and everything about people actually in real life being out and about just in random woods and encountering like sets of stairs, just like beautiful sets of stairs, destroyed, dilapidated, like just random, like this. It's a real thing apparently that's happened. And I'm so curious, you know, hearing that that was such a big drive for this story. Is that something that you had ever heard about before this film itself? Like, did you ever have any friends, like, how you heard a story about random stairs in the woods before now?
No, I was like, actually, is like, even on day one on set, when I arrived to Seattle, I was like, really? This like, I never heard about this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like interesting, you know. It's like, oh, that makes sense why you guys shooting this movie.
And I gotta ask, because I mean, we don't know what movie magic is now. We don't know what's real versus what's not or anything. The stairs that were used in the film itself there. Oh man, I'm embarrassed to ask. I have to ask it there. Y'all built that, like that was built for the movie, right? Like y'all didn't just happen to stumble upon one of these random sets of stairs out there and just say, this is what we're shooting, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, of course. We have our production designer build it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I guess one location we got like it lost it, and then he's like, okay, now he got to take it all apart, move it, and I guess, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but like they're gonna set it on fire, but like I guess it's like with the fire department, they're like, okay, we can't have it this close to the tree, so you know, 15 guys gotta haul it like feel like the distance from the tree. So yeah, definitely it's like hand built, and you know, and like during the editing process, the post production process, we know of course we see the nails and stuff, so we gotta do like a lot of visual effects. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like, you know, whatever you see on the screen, it looks so simple, but it's like behind the scenes, you're like, oh god, screw this, screw that.
Yeah, and man, it looks so beautiful. Like you put together a good looking film for damn sure. Because I mean, even with like the whole idea that like people have seen like stairs out in the wild and in the real world and everything like that, just in the middle of nowhere, I don't think anybody would have expected to see like the beautiful set of stairs that y'all had in this movie. So it's kind of cool just to see how nice y'all had that coming out. And something you kind of mentioned leads me to another question for you here. Kathleen Quinlan did a little bit of an intro to the film, you know, in the Fathom Events screening of it and everything. And she had mentioned, you know, she had made a comment about how, again, without going too far into spoiler territory or anything there, about how for decades now, watching monsters on screen have like captivated us. And, you know, it's a way for us all to just kind of lose ourselves into the movies. And I'm curious, you know, what brought you on board with this project? You know, was it something to where the writer and director Drago, like he's a friend of yours? Is it that, you know, you had a chance to read the script and you're like, wow, this really resonates with me somehow? Do you have a big love of horror? What actually brought you to the project itself?
Oh, that's just pretty easy because I'm a friend of Drago's, and we met each other working on like 2 other films, and then somehow like randomly he like reach out to me, is, hey, are you available to like come to Seattle to edit a movie? And like it was like, I believe back before like August. I was like, I'm busy, I can't, you know. But you know, then they got pushed back to like September, and I reached out to Drago, hey man, are you still want to look for an editor? He's like, yeah, definitely. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to like go Seattle. It's like I never been there, It's like almost a workation, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I got on a project, because I work with Drago, the past projects, you know, on this, you know, industry is all about networking. We don't really like do the formal interviews, you know, it's like it's a word of mouth, you know, if you work with this person before, they're reliable.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
Theron, funny story, when he was out there, I happened to be vacationing at the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
With the family. Just by complete coincidence. Where were we? Some bar in Seattle.
It was some brewery near the Ferris wheel. It's like, I think it's called Smog Brewery, I believe. Some
Okay.
type of brewery by the Pikes, near Pikes
Yeah.
Market.
Right. But I happened to just go into this place. My brother-in-law was already sitting there, and I sit down at the table, and I look over the table next to me, and this guy is sitting right there, and we just had this look on our face of
We're like
complete shock.
we're like turning this way. It's like, is that Josh?
Like legitimately, like right here.
Across the aisle, look at each other like, what?
That is happenstance, man.
It was so fun. And that's why you guys were shooting, right? During production?
Yeah, I think it's like one of the weekends we have day off. We're like, okay, I need to like just get a beer or something or explore the city.
And who are you with? They were part of the production.
Oh
group.
yeah, I was with one of the PAs, a good friend, Jeff Mendenhall.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, he was from Oregon, so he just met up, stayed in Seattle. So like on the days off, we just kind of go, you know, explore and stuff like that. And then every morning he was my ride to set and back. So he has, you know, drive the RV. I don't know how to drive like the huge RV, so I was pretty much like navigator or like help him and stuff.
I'm so curious because like it's funny that y'all both were in Seattle last year, because I too went to Seattle in February of last year. So Seattle was the place to be last year for whatever reason. How was y'all's experience there? I mean, like let's get past the elephant in the room. You know, we're in a pandemic and everything like that, and I know I got to go right before things actually started like getting crazy and locked down and everything like that. Like, how was y'all's experience out there during everything that was going on?
Well, this was actually before pandemic. This was
2019
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
it was Labor Day 2019. That weekend.
Okay.
So yeah, it was fine.
Oh, all right. No issues then. All right.
Are you more talking about like how's the experience on set, like the day one shooting?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I don't know if you guys seen that movie. There's a scene where, you know, the grandfather and the kid like drove a car and like first park and get out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we like, you know, we lost somehow, because they don't have enough time to prep, and you know we lost locations like 3 days prior to filming. But when they arrived on set, there was like literally like 100 students, like field trips on the other side of forest, and they're like people are yelling, screaming, and it's like, I don't know, it's like day one, it's like, F my life, it's gonna be sucks.
Yeah, that's got to be a bit of a hard production problem there to get around too.
Yeah, you know, it's like it takes place in the woods, you know. Of course, day one I have nothing to do, you know. There's nothing to edit, you know. So like, I feel bad just sitting around. It's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna help wherever I can. I help PAs like grab sandbags and hike like in the woods. So it's like every day is like almost. I literally walk like what 15,000 steps. It's like
every day.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man, come on. Wow. So I'm curious, you know, especially like it's funny because now 2019 obviously is when y'all were there and everything, but I am curious because last year, the one thing that was evident amongst anything else, I think especially with her, was that horror really thrived in the pandemic. I think 2020 was a really, really good year for horror movies and just the entire genre in general, honestly. And we had a lot of really good stuff that came out last year. I'm curious if horror is something that you actually yourself enjoy. Because I get it, you know, you're working with friends on this. This is somebody who's experienced your work before on previous projects. And obviously you're the guy for the job. But I'm also curious if there was any actual interest in it because you're a horror fan or you resonate with that genre at all.
Yeah, because, you know, I like horror because it's not like for me, you know, when people watch horrors, you know, like they're gonna come in to have fun, get scared. It's not gonna be all horror. So there's definitely be comedy, some like funny moments. So that's kind of what estimated me. It's like you're not adding horror, but it's almost the drama and the comedic timing of it. So I feel like great horror movies. It's not all about there's some like very serious movies, but like some horror movies that resonate with me for me is like there's those comedic like jokes and stuff that stands out that you make those characters believable. But when those characters gone, you're like, oh man, he was the best part.
Yeah, and the film's won a lot of awards like that. That's the one thing, is that y'all have done very, very well. It's seemingly on the on the film festival circuit and everything. What kind of competition comes up with that? Because I do know that, again, like taking it back to horror is definitely one of those genres that in the especially in the independent film circuit, that there seems to just be so much competition out there from filmmakers and putting the best product out there for everybody to enjoy. So I am curious when it comes to like submitting the film to film festivals and everything there, especially you as the editor, the person that's putting this movie together and everything. Does anything change after one festival to another one? Like, are you still doing edits, months after you've locked, to where you have to go back and change stuff up?
No, because like at this point, like when we submit it, there's not really much cutting for me. Maybe there's like definitely like we work on sound, for example. But like when you mentioned the whole like winning with these festivals, it's like for me it's like, really, wow, it's kind of surreal, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's not really much like more editing to do, but there's definitely probably like, I guess when they watch it, it's like, okay, we want to make this sound better. Yeah. I don't know if I'm kind of just like ranting on.
Okay. And when it comes to like making cuts and stuff, especially again in a project like this, it's easier for your voice to be heard. It's easier for you to actually give like insight and opinion on your thoughts about what you're seeing there. Was there a lot that you saw being cut out from what was done? I realize, again, obviously it's not a 100-hour movie, it's not a 100-hour plus movie or anything like that. But I guess you always hear that when you're putting a film together, a lot of times there can be plot points, characters, like certain things that get cut out of the film itself. Was there anything coming out of the stairs that you personally were like, man, like I wish that could have stayed in, or was very easily like, yeah, no, this doesn't need to be there or be a part of this at all?
Yeah, I think this is one scene, just like in the beginning when I don't know if you've seen the movie. So there's a scene where, after the grandfather and the grandson park, before they, shoot a deer, there's definitely like a walk and talk, kind of like, small talk with his grandson. And I guess they kind of brought up, how school is going, and then like how's his teacher. And it seems like during the discussion, it seems like the grandfather almost has a fling with the teacher once,
Oh.
Like there's like some like it's like
some kind of backstory between
them.
Yeah.
Your dad, he's like a sleazy guy or anything, I thought, I don't mind it, I thought it was kind of funny, but like that we kind of have a tough time. We just got like axe that scene, even though it's a great scene, it just didn't move the story at all. It's kind of like watching it over and over and over. Okay, this is slowing me down. The audience could probably be bored,
Mm-hmm.
And and there's another line, like a small line, I guess. It's like when when they got separated in the woods, when the grandfather is like, Jesse, where you go? And he says, I'm gonna kick your ass, And that line is like, we hear it, it's like in the context, then it feels like it's kind of dark. I guess it set the whole tone, like maybe the grandfather's a killer or something. But yeah, we definitely axed that out.
See, it's so intriguing to hear things like that too, because you wouldn't think, like from an outside perspective, like I guess you would never think that something as small as that could really change the tone of it. But the way you describe it, it's like, yeah, like that absolutely would have been completely out of place, like in the film, because I did get to see it, and it's like, yeah, like hearing you describe it, it's like, no, that wouldn't have fit at all, honestly.
And there's definitely, after in the middle of the movie where you finally like discovered these the four hikers, you can't get bond with them. it's like, every scene with the dialogue, they're great with chemistry with each other, and it's like sometimes, Dirty Doug, the one that's the funny guy, he ad-lib a lot. He was great, but there's definitely, in almost every scene we gotta be like, I was a surgeon, so I like cut lines here and use their reaction there. So like I guess you probably like, it took like probably like 20% out of every dialogue scene is out from the movie.
And that's that poses a whole new set of problems, because I've heard about that when you have actors, like good or bad, like who do a lot of improvising, that it does make it hard for reshoots. It makes it hard to like to do your job, obviously, because you don't have the same kind of markers that you would if they're using the script. So if you're saying like this was happening a lot, yeah, that seems like you had your work cut out for you then, huh?
Definitely. And I guess they work with each other in the other previous films, so it kind of make my job easy because there's chemistry, work so well with each other.
Yeah. Now, outside of that, I am curious, because I always ask everybody this here, anytime I can get a guest to talk about their films they're involved in and everything. I'm so curious, and I'm sure this is something maybe you've heard talks about, and if not, you can obviously make something up here. But seeing the film, seeing what the writer and director had planned out for it there, if you had to come up with a sequel idea to The Stairs, if you had to go over like The Stairs 2, what would that story you think be about? And I like it, again, it could be like actual tidbits that maybe you heard or something you make up there on the spot. But thinking about what the finished project came out to, what would The Stairs 2 be about?
It's funny, it's like after we wrapped filming, I remember like one of the extras asked, "Hey, is there gonna be a sequel?" And then one of the writers, directors, like, they brought up the idea maybe they're gonna go back and find where the grandpa is, because he's still missing.
Okay.
And then there's been talks about actually doing a prequel as well, or in the beginning, we see the grandfather and grandson, and when right before the title hits, the grandson got snatched. Spoiler. We're gonna do maybe like a prequel, like just the stuff happened between that 20 years passed by, just introducing some characters,
Yeah.
And then throughout the whole movie, you kind of see these introduce new monsters. You kind of see that whole guy, the bullet, the little crazy woman. They might come back because we kind of never establish what happened to them.
Yeah, and I love to mention that because I did feel that there were some strong implications throughout the film about that what's the one like Jeepers Creepers, every 23 years the monster's out and everything. There seem to be some fun implications here that obviously it's not like this grandfather and this boy were the first ones to come across this or encounter the grub daddies or whatever, or that our main group of hikers or anything later on in the film, that they're the only ones they encounter it too. It seemed like there was a mythology definitely being built with this film, honestly. So that's really cool to hear that those are, whether y'all end up doing it, that's cool to hear that there have been talks and conversations about building that world, because y'all did have a lot in this film that kind of build upon that, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. It's like they have a lot of stuff in the script, plan. Like some of the stuff we shot, but it's like there's no budget. We didn't have a budget to shoot anymore. So a lot of stuff they get axed off more like creatures and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's like this movie is almost like a tease for a bigger, I don't know, universe, I guess.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. We got to be on the lookout for that. So we're going to get close to wrapping things up here. We got a question here in the chat. Because we know we had the Fathom Events screening of it last night, and I know a lot of people got a chance to go check that out there. When can we expect to see The Stairs hit streaming hit physical release, anything like that? Do you have any idea when this going to be available again for folks to actually pick up and check out?
I think I asked them last night. I think vaguely remember. I think it's end of this month, I believe.
Oh,
I don't know what exactly date, but yeah, I think so.
looking towards the end of this
Yeah.
month. All right. That's going to be awesome to get that out there. And because I love asking every guest about this as well, too. Well, you worked on a horror film. You had a horror film that came out there. Can you talk a little bit about, if it was a big part of your life there, maybe some of your experiences with horror in your own life, whether it's, it's an experience seeing it in theaters, watching something at home, going to a haunted house. Like, we're getting into the scary, spooky season and everything. So can you talk a bit about your life experiences with horror growing up now?
Oh man, horror, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
if you want to be even more specific, like these days, what if you had to go back and like pinpoint some specific movies that you just pull out anytime, like these are the OGs, these are my favorites here now. Like, what do you go to when you're
I remember the first movie that really scared me was watching The Ring.
Okay.
It's like, you watch The Ring, of course, you get a static TV. It's like every time, you wake up, you're like, you hear someone flipping channels, you're like, here's static, like, what's going on, And I was like scared to death, like middle of the night, just like trying to go to the bathroom to get a water because you're like, open a door, might see that little girl somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Man, that hits it. Do you still have any sort of VHS collection left there? Nope. I know a lot of people, it's less and less now.
No, I don't have any VHS anymore.
Oh man, okay. I always get sad because like it's less and less and less and less that we're seeing, and I know our media is so much better than what it's ever been in our world before. But I'm always curious if folks are still hoarding a nice VHS collection together there.
I should have, it's like, some of them probably cost like fortune these days, so super rare ones, I guess.
Yep, I'd imagine so too. I imagine so. All right, Michael. So we're kind of at the end of things here. Do you have anything that you need to plug? Anything you want to talk about that you got coming on the horizon for yourself now?
You mean any new projects or?
Yeah,
because like right now the 2 films, it's in post-production. It's almost done. It's like, you're in a raft, you're like swimming, you see the beach, it's almost there. There's a slasher film involving a bunch of teens amusement park, So
we do like slasher films over here.
So it's different from this movie. And another one, it's a Western horror movie.
Okay. Michael, we're gonna have to be having you back a little bit now. You're speaking our language quite a bit here now. That it's that trigger word. Slasher is that's the one right there. Those are the movies right there, man. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. And we're looking at those projects sometime next year, next couple of years now.
Hopefully this year or beginning next year,
Okay. We're gonna have to talk them then. We're definitely gonna have to talk them there for sure. So very cool, y'all. We got a couple more films Michael's working on right now. Hopefully out before the end of the year, get a chance to see them. And then of course, as you heard there, we're gonna hopefully have the stairs available for streaming or for perhaps physical media here by the end of the month as well too. So, Josh, anything from you, man? Anything from you?
Yeah, actually, I had a quick question, Michael. Didn't you have one called the Haunted Trail?
That was the Haunted Trails. Is that the
amusement park?
The slasher one, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think by the description they were in the woods again. I'm like, thought you were just doing another Kids in the Woods movie again.
No, that's the slasher one, and then another one's called Blackwood. That's the horror Western one. It's like
Blackwood and a haunted trail. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Blackwood and a haunted trail, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're looking for there.
Yeah. What about the Awakening of Emmanuel?
Oh, that's like.
Is that smut?
What's that?
Are you editing smut?
I don't know what that means.
Oh man,
Like the
I
old-
know what he means.
Like
with
the old
Emmanuel.
Skinamax movies. You remember?
That was a lot of that work. I was luckily got busy during like the pandemic, so it's kind of like this work.
No, I'm not criticizing. I was
Oh.
just curious if they're like rebooting the franchise or something.
Oh, I don't know. I guess no, I don't think so.
That'd
know
be
if it's
dope
the
if
same
that was
character.
the case.
I
Take me
see,
back
I
to my
know.
childhood, man. Old school Emmanuel. I'm in it.
I know it's
I'm
been
in it.
stalking me, Josh. Look at
I'm
IMDb.
IMDb stalking you, man. I saw you were at American Fair.
Mega fair.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
I did have some questions there. I didn't want to walk all over your thing.
Yeah.
Do it, man. Hit it.
Yeah, so that's why I was waiting for you. But hey, Mike, how did the screening last night go in LA that you were at?
It was great, you know. It's like for me, it's like because I seen it, of course I seen it so much on my computer, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like the first time like over a year, I actually see it, you know, with a group of people in LA. It's like on a big screen. It's like, you know, for some reason my stomach cringe, you know. Like, okay, you know, of course they probably check it, but it's like I'm anticipate something's going wrong during screening always, you know, like a missing flash frame or something. But overall, yeah, it's great.
So were you there with the rest of the cast and crew, or did you go to a different theater and see it?
Yeah, because the filmmakers, they're based on Seattle, so they actually flew here.
Oh, perfect.
So we I attended a screening in theater with them. You know,
That's
some
great.
of the few of the cast and few of the filmmakers, and mostly like most of the crew are back in Seattle.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
last night at our screening, there were two women in front of us, and they apparently knew the actor who played Josh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they had a few cocktails, so they kept pointing out that guy in the blue shirt, like about 7 times. They had to tell us the guy in the blue shirt. They knew it after the screening, but it was fun.
I'm just curious. So I check on, you know, the theaters and especially in Colorado to see who's seeing. So I guess you went to Highlands Ranch, I guess.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's my go-to theater too.
Yeah,
I went to the Century in Aurora. That's where I saw it.
Um,
So speaking of shirts, we can't leave this without bringing up Theron's shirt. Did you recognize it? I mean, you had to have seen of at least 30 or 40 hours of it during the
shirt?
editing process. Yeah, that's Doug's shirt.
oh
This is-
snap!
My my wife and I went to see it last night, and she's pointing. She's like, "Wait a minute, I'm pretty sure you have that shirt." And I look, it's like, I know I have that shirt that Doug's wearing right now, and I snag a quick photo, and Josh can attest to this. I send Josh a photo, like, I have this shirt right now, and sure enough, go home, and this is Doug's shirt, 100%, absolutely.
So weird.
Yeah. And like, it's funny to me because like when I was growing up, and even to this day, I look at wardrobe in movies like, man, I'll never own cool shit that people are wearing in movies at all because I'm not a man of money or anything there. So I felt very cool last night to see Doug wearing this shirt. Like, I own a movie shirt. I finally own one now. Claim to fame. There it is.
You got your costume for Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm Doug in the stairs, baby.
Now you guys gotta put leeches on yourself, I guess.
Oh
There you
man.
go.
And what, the American underoos now and everything too? We gotta go in. We gotta go in on it now.
You're gonna have to put a screenshot on your page, side by side.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
happening. It's happening for sure. We gonna grab that for sure. That's going down. That's going down.
Awesome.
All
Well,
right.
that's all I got.
All righty. Well, Michael, we really appreciate you joining us. Again, I'm excited. I'm excited for your other couple films that are coming out there. It definitely seems more of stuff that's going to be up my alley as well. So I'm excited to see those eventually get a chance to talk about it. But we appreciate you joining us here today, and we hope to get a chance to talk to you more in the future now.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys.
And thanks
Ken.
everybody for joining
Thanks,
us.
Theron.
And that's going to do it for my interview with Michael Tang, editor of The Stairs. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Joshua Massaro of Mile High Horror Film Festival, thank you very much for joining us as well, too. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Back on camera for you just for a little bit. I'm going to try to get one more video episode in for you next week there with our Chucky All-Nighter. Yeah, so we still have a few more movies we're going to be watching together tomorrow, which is Thursday the 16th. And we're still trying to decide when we're doing Candyman, because Candyman comes out to digital platforms this Friday the 17th. It was a fantastic film. It did really, really good in theaters there. We got to support it. Make sure to buy it, to rent it. Even though I'm going to be buying digitally or renting digitally, I will buy the physical 4K release when that comes out, because I got to have it there. But we're going to figure out Candyman. Next week, there is only one watch party. I have so many weddings next week that I just can't make any other watch parties work. So the only watch party we are doing is the Chucky All-Nighter. Yes, next Wednesday, the 22nd, the time has come for our second All-Nighter. We did one back in July. Now it's time to get back to things here with Chucky. We're doing all of them, from Child's Play 1, 2, and 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, and Cult of Chucky. We're getting them all. We're skipping the remake. We'll do the remake a little bit later on there, but we're getting them all there. That is our only watch party next week. So if you don't tune in then, you're not going to catch anything with me. That is going to do it for us, folks. Get to Facebook so you can go find the link for our watch party. Please come join. We are watching a bunch of new shit tonight, as I said earlier. Thank you very much for tuning in, y'all. Like, comment, share, tell your friends about this there. Tag your favorite horror movie sites. Tweet them, all that kind of stuff about me as well, too, folks. Big things coming, all right? But my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Y'all stay scared.